So here we have question 36 and 37, and this is from the SAT number 15. And this is a paired question. So let's jump in and let's solve this. So 36 says, it can reasonably be inferred from passage 2 that Bryan considers the preference for national sovereignty over foreign rule to be a something. So here we're talking about basically what is Bryan. So that's the author of passage 2. So what does the author of passage 2 say about the preference, right, for national sovereignty, or this could be self-government, right, the ability to rule your own nation over foreign rule or another nation ruling you. So what is Bryan in the passage 2, what does he say about this preference that people have for wanting to be self-governed, to have national sovereignty over foreign rule? Because this is a paired question, the best way to do it is going to be to jump to question 37, and we're going to go through each of the line choices there. And as we go through them, we're going to look for any answer choice or any lines that are going to tell us about what we can infer, right, from what Bryan says about this preference. So let's look through them. 47 through 51 says, starting here, if the Republicans are prepared to censure all who have used language calculated to make the Filipinos hate foreign domination, let them consider the speech of Patrick Henry. So this right here doesn't tell us too directly about this preference that people have, right? Now we might be able to make some sort of connection between what he's saying, right, here about Filipinos and their ability to use language, etc. But it's really more about their right to criticize the United States, and it's less about this preference for national sovereignty over foreign rule, especially compared to some of the other answer choices, which we'll see. So for that reason, it's not a very strong answer choice, so we should probably eliminate it for right now. 65 through 66 says, down here, it goes on, and no one can set a limit to its ever-widening influence. So we need to make sure that we check our references. So we're looking at it. What does it refer to? It refers to a truth once spoken. So once a truth is spoken, it goes on, and no one can set a limit to its ever-widening influence. So this is talking about sort of universal general principles, universal truths that once spoken, they can't be recalled. And this doesn't tell us too much about this preference for national sovereignty over foreign rule. So for that reason, it's not going to be a really good answer choice either. So we can get rid of 65, 66. Then we have 71 through 73, which says, he never made a race of people so low in the scale of civilization or intelligence that it would welcome a foreign master. And he right here is referring to God. So we can sort of step out here. It says, God himself, who placed in every human heart the love of liberty, and he never made a race of people so low in the scale of civilization or intelligence that it would welcome a foreign master. So basically what is being said here is that the drive for liberty is innate. It's something that's born within us. It's natural, or it's something that God himself has placed in our hearts. And he never made a race of people so low in the scale of civilization or intelligence, which basically means basically everyone is essentially the same. There's not a certain class of people that's destined to be the rulers and a certain class of people that's destined to be subservient. So here he is talking pretty clearly in pretty clear terms about this preference for national sovereignty or self-government over foreign rule, because here he says they would never welcome foreign masters. So this is a pretty strong answer choice. We should keep C. Then we go to D, which is 74 through 77. That says, those who would have this nation enter upon a career of empire must consider not only the effect of imperialism on the Filipinos, but they also must calculate its effect on our own nation. So what he's saying here is he's talking to people in the United States. He says those who would have this nation enter upon a career of empire. So meaning those people who would try to have this empire, right? Try to basically put themselves onto these other territories. They have to consider the effect of imperialism on the Filipinos, meaning the Filipinos are going to react negatively to it, but they also have to calculate its effect upon our own nation. So basically, people who have this argument also need to think about how this imperialism is going to affect their own nation, because he's saying it's undermining the principles of liberty upon which the United States was founded. So this, less directly than C, talks about a preference, though, for national sovereignty. He's basically issuing this warning that if you violate the principles of liberty on which your country was founded in this game of imperialism, that it's actually going to have negative consequences for your own nation as well. But C is really going to be the best answer choice for telling us about a preference for national sovereignty over foreign rule. And one more time, let's look back at what exactly he says. He says, it was God himself who placed in every human heart the love of liberty, and he never made a race people so low on the scale of civilization or intelligence that it would welcome a foreign master. So his point is that this preference for national sovereignty was planted within us through God, or it's just something that's natural within us. So for 36, answer choice A says reaction to the excesses of imperial governments in the modern era. So this is saying that the preference for national sovereignty is this reaction. So basically, when there's all these imperial governments, there's this reaction that will make people prefer to have national sovereignty. But that's not really what he says. What he says is sort of universal. It's deeper. It's more fundamental to humans as they are. So it's not a preference that's necessarily a reaction. And he doesn't ever trace that out. So A is wrong. B says it's a sign that the belief in human equality is widespread. So this preference for national sovereignty over foreign rule is a sign that the belief in human equality is widespread. But here what he's talking about again is not even that it's necessarily a belief, but he's saying it's something innate, it's something that's born and put within us. It's something more fundamental than that. So he's not arguing here that there's a belief in human equality that's widespread. He's just arguing that deep within us is this preference for liberty, for freedom, for the ability to self-actualize, etc. We can give it a B. C says it's a testament to the effects of the foreign policy of the United States. This would basically be saying that this preference that people have for self-government is a result of the foreign policy of the United States, which is kind of the opposite, more so, of what passage 2 is saying. Passage 2 is basically saying the foreign policy of the United States is opposed and against these universal principles of liberty, not that it's an effect of it. So we can get rid of C. That will leave us with D, which says it's a manifestation of an innate drive in humans towards self-rule. And that pretty much matches here, that it's something that God himself placed in every human heart. It's this innate drive in humans towards self-rule. So we're going to choose answer choice D for question 36 and answer choice C for question 37.